And I am. Welcome to Disney Infinity 3.0. Now, some of you might be asking, but this game's servers were shut down. You can't download any new levels, can't upload any new ones, so what's the point of playing it? Well, mostly because I want to. And also, while you might not be able to upload or download any levels anymore, you can still play the pre-created ones, you can still play the toy sets, and you can still create your own levels to play around in. And that's kind of what I want to do here. I'll be switching characters all throughout our time here, and I guess it'll just end when everybody feels like shutting it down. But to start off, come, Sorcerer Mickey! One of the characters from the 1.0 version of the game. Sorcerer Mickey is... well, he has magic at his disposal. This is the Toy Box Hub, where you can choose which area to go into, and also fight some enemies for some easy experience. Where did... aha! Come here, you! Hadouken! Ow! Hey! Ow! Hadouken! But what is Disney Infinity exactly? Well, it's a toys-to-life game, kind of like Skylanders or LEGO Dimensions. Basically, you collect the figurines, you put them on the base, plug the base into your console, slip the disc in, and you can play with any character that you own. All versions of the game came with at least 2 characters, some with 3. And, well, you don't need a character in order to get the most... you don't need every character to get a great time out of the game, but I would recommend that you own a couple. This here is your interior. Basically a little home area you can build for yourself. I'm going to turn that off just in case playing Radio Disney gets me copyrighted or something. But I figured I'd show you around my interior before we really got started. All the posters up on the walls are characters that I actually have in this game. For example, Anakin and Ahsoka were included with the game when I bought it. They only have posters for the 2.0 and 3.0 characters, though. So there are a couple characters that'll be left off here. I love that they included the Carl Barks Scrooge McDuck in here. Aladdin, Tinkerbell, Donald Duck. Oh, this room. I really enjoy this room. This is the Villains Room. As you can see by all the Haunted Mansion stuff, the various villainous paraphernalia, the Loki poster, and unfortunately I also have this poster, which means I have this character. I don't have a lot of villains in this game. There's not much to do in your interior other than wander around. I believe if you had multiplayer, you could, you know, like when this game's servers were still up, you could make it so that others could visit your interior. This room's mostly just meant to be the Mystery Shack. Because I love Gravity Falls and it deserves all the attention it gets. This room right here is Tangled themed mainly. This one here is Sleeping Beauty themed. And I haven't really figured out what to do with these hallways or this room, really. I guess it's just like a guest room or something. Huh. That's new. That was very new. Let's go see what that was all about. You know what? Mickey's running a little slow. So I think it's time for our first character switch. From Disney to Pixar. Speed it up, Dash. Don't run into the wall. Here we go. I don't know how that area... I don't know how Ariel changed the scenery here, but I wish I did. Oh, speaking of Little Mermaid, I also have Ursula's Cauldron right here as the centerpiece of the villain's room. But enough faffing about in the interior. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Whoop! Now, I admit, I did get this game before the servers shut down, so I have a few levels saved up. Yeah, like I said, I'll be switching characters periodically.
To find a point of interest, follow the highlighted path.
Thank you, Mr. Narrator, but, whoa. Keep forgetting how hard Dash is to control when he's running top speed. Hey, pal, think fast! Literally. Thing is, Dash's super speed is treated as an attack, so it automatically runs towards enemies. But anyway, let's head in to our first toy box level. Now, like I said, I don't have a lot of these saved. There's this one, and also a lot of them are ride recreations. But I think our first one is going to be Magical Musical Mania. And it's time for another character switch. Just give it a moment to load. Infinity's... I think one of Infinity's biggest problems is that it takes a little while to load. But when it's all about user-created levels and there's nothing preset to load, well, I can understand why it's sometimes finicky. Spawn in.
Well,
Baloo.
all right, it's you. Well, hey now. It's good to meet you. You just hang on, and old Baloo's gonna show you how it's done.
Yes, I can see the crowd is excited. Just gotta name the Disney songs. Name them correctly to get the music papers. And then bring... It's the best way they could make Whistle Stop from Robin Hood. This game doesn't have the songs preloaded. You have to get as close as you can with the in-game note blocks. Well, I changed figures into Baloo, so I can play as him. Give it a moment and the whistle stop will, well, stop. Yeah, whenever the character changes, it means I switch the figurine on the base. Up. Okay, that sounded like... Was it Everyone Wants to Be a Cat? Hakuna Matata? Or I Just Can't Wait to Be King? Let's listen to that again. If I remember correctly... I think that was Hakuna Matata. Yep. Alright, next song. Up. Friend Like Me, Gaston, or Prince Ali. Kinda obvious. Just let the rendition of the song finish. Prince Ali. Oh, I know that one. No, it's not One Jump Ahead. Or I Want to Be Like You. Look for the bare necessities.
Bagheera hears about this.
I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease. It's the bare necessities of life. Yeah. Take the 3 papers you've got back to the main hub area. And go talk to Mickey to turn them in. Ooh, very pretty underwater world. I think to unlock the assets for this kind of world, I need to have the Finding Dory playset, which I don't have. In fact, I haven't seen those figurines since this game was actually since this game was actually still in its prime. But anyway, hup. Let's see. could be Madam Mim, Fixer-Upper, or Try Everything. If I remember correctly, that sounded like Try Everything. What do you guys think? One more time. Or, yeah.
It was nothing.
This level's simple, but it's a lot of fun. I'm glad I downloaded it. That was a short one. Was it Part of Your World, Under the Sea, or Go the Distance? Let's listen to it one more time. Yep.
Wow, would you look at that?
Down where it's wetter, take it from me. Oh, I know that one. No, it's not Whistle Stop. It's You've Got a Friend in Me.
Now this calls for a celebration.
What was the third choice there? Zero to Hero. Yeah, I don't think you could make Zero to Hero in this game. And even if you did, there's not much point. There were no Hercules figurines. Honestly, I get why Disney shut Infinity down. Ultimately, it just wasn't selling well. But I kind of wish that they hadn't, because this game is a lot of fun, and I wish I hadn't waited so long to pick it up. Alright, Frozen-themed area. Funny how with the backdrop they chose, you can see Elsa's ice palace in the distance and then go like, but what's that? Is that Be Our Guest, Les Poissons, or Tale as Old as Time? Yeah, it didn't quite sound like Le Poisson.
Must be my lucky day.
Obvious. Let's let it go.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
The other options were Reflections from Mulan or Fixer Upper. Was that one Dig a Little Deeper, Hi Ho, or Whistle While You Work? One more time. Definitely not Hi Ho. Thing is, I haven't seen Princess and the Frog all that much, so I don't know Dig a Little Deeper by heart. I think that one's whistle while you work. Wrong. Let's try dig a little deeper. Nope. I was completely wrong. It is hi-ho.
You better believe it, kid.
Doesn't sound like hi-ho to me, but... But I guess with the speed of music that this game allows, it's kind of hard to make it actually sound like hi-ho. Well, on the bright side, you don't really get penalized for a wrong guess other than getting knocked down. Alright, the fourth and final area. Which I guess is based off of London in Peter Pan. Let's start over here. Is that Topsy-Turvy from Hunchback? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Or is it Chim Chim Cheree? I believe that would be... the biggest word you've ever heard, and this is out... Oop, never mind. No, that's definitely supercalifragilistic. I just picked the wrong button.
Nothing gets past old Baloo.
I was just mixed up on which button was which. We had the song right. Ah, thanks, game. When I see an elephant fly, one little spark, or it's a small world.
That sure was a dandy, wasn't it?
It's a small world after all. Surprised they didn't have that song over here when they have the small world entrance. That's either I've got no strings, you'll be in my heart, or you can fly. Going off the theme of this area and seeing Neverland in the background, I would say that's you can fly. What do you guys think? Okay, play it again. Alright, we'll go with your suggestion first. Nope. Honestly, at first it sounded like let's go fly a kite, but that's not an option.
Now that's what I call fun.
Okie dokie. Yeah, it doesn't, but... ah well. What the game says goes. And giving the last bits back spawns the key. Pick it up. And just chuck it into the cage. You can just touch it, but where's the fun in that? Pick the last one up, and Robin Hood congratulates us and tells us to give the last one to Mickey. Now sit back and enjoy your final musical masterpiece. If I remember correctly, that's When You Wish Upon a Star. Oh, and you still have full control of your character in this scene, so... Like as you saw when we passed through the middle area and I had Baloo activate his special move. We get a thanks for playing message. And thus ends Magical Musical Mania. And I did not intend to enter edit mode. And now it's time to load our next level. Let's see. There's Grandmother Willow Rescue. Frozen Ever After. A recreation of Soarin' Over California. Super Mickey World, which is basically just... It's basically just Mario. Quora Into the Grid 2, which I never downloaded Quora Into the Grid 1, because I didn't have Sam Flynn. There's the two-part Sleeping Beauty level that I could play. A Twilight Zone Tower of Terror recreation. A attempt at recreating Phantasmic. A couple of Mulan levels. There's an Aladdin level. I like this level, but the last two times I've tried to finish it, it's caused the game to crash, so I'm not going to try it. But sure, why not? Let's do Super Mickey World, but since Baloo doesn't have a super jump, we're going to have to switch characters. And the actual Mickey Mouse figure I have doesn't have a super jump that's high enough, because he's a 1.0 character. No, not this one. He can't jump high enough either. Switch. And just let it load. The sand in the bottom half of the glass. Now you see that big slab down below what looks like the actual level design? That's where they put all the spawners and stuff required to, you know, make the level work. All the event flags and such. But you can't actually jump down there. To make his way through.
Ready.
Let's rock and roll, hero. This one's a pretty simple platformer level. But look, it even has... Yeah, does that music sound familiar? You get the mushroom and it turns you into big head mode. Come on, hero. Oh hey, it's Space Mountain. this part right here honestly reminds me more of Crash Bandicoot. But hey, the flagpole! Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to see a level like this built in... Well, I wouldn't want to see a level in this built by, say... Ross. Ugh. I think our next one will be Disneyland Infinite Possibilities. And let's see. Our next character will be... this one. Please don't copyright me for this music. Thankfully, it only has the first chorus. I did put a figure on the base.
Back for more, huh?
Come on, Finn. Let's do this. I think this was part of a challenge to Disney Infinity creators to make their own potential Disneyland attractions. And this one created 5, each based on something that didn't have a actual ride yet. Oh yeah, I should explain Finn. He can punch stuff, but he also has the best gun in the game. Rapid fire. This one right here is Merida's Brave Quest, an interactive shooter attraction where you help Merida save her kingdom. I do have Merida's figure, so maybe I should switch to her. Nah, we'll let Finn have fun on all of these. Oh, right. I forgot. Gotta move. Ah, now that's a nice little way of... That's a nice little way of recreating the PA announcements beforehand. Now the game tells you to use the paintball gun. Yep, they even recreated the safety spiel. But who needs that when I have a rifle? Ah, look, they're using the little villagers like the animatronics. Hey, I didn't want to shoot them, I wanted to shoot the bear. Or the enemy. Ooh, spooky. And he's dead. Kinda takes all the tension out of it. You can just shoot him. Well, I guess the dialogue box is
That went pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, I'd say that went well. And yeah, if you're playing with multiple players, because you can still play this game in local multiplayer, then you get to compare your scores. Though if you are playing it in local multiplayer, you should probably just stick with the paintball guns. Only problem with levels with multiple areas like this is that they've got to rebuild every time you go back to the hub world. But then again, I'm not complaining about getting to hear Gitchy Gitchy Goo again. Over here we have Treasure Planet Voyage, a flying dark ride. You travel alongside Jim Hawkins and Long John Silver to the loot of 1,000 worlds. Well, I haven't actually seen Treasure Planet yet, but I do know its story due to having the junior novelization when I was a kid. Well, I still haven't seen that either. And actually, that's the one thing that Disney mostly forgot to represent in Infinity. The Muppets. Like, there's Kermit, there's Fozzie as, like, little townspeople, but there were no Muppet figurines, no real sets based on them. I'm sure somebody made a Muppet show somewhere, but unfortunately it's been lost to time by now unless there's like some fan server you can get to download. But I'd probably have to jailbreak my PS4 to do that, and I don't want to do that. Nice little queue area that they set up. And using a Star Wars Star Speeder. Should be old hat. Generally in these ride areas, you want to keep your hands off the controls to make sure you don't screw anything up. I guess that would be the recreation of the scene where Jim finds out how to get the crew past the black hole. Look closely on the ground. The silver protocol droid is meant to represent Ben. Whee! This would make a pretty fun ride. All right. Finn's had some fun, so let's swap. I do kind of want to show off as many characters as possible. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, Han Solo.
Couldn't stay away?
Rapunzel's hair-raising escape. is a roller coaster type ride. Let's go. I know there isn't a full-fledged Tangled ride at any of the parks, but I do know that they have that recreation of the tower at Walt Disney World in its Fantasyland. I haven't ever actually visited that. I wonder if it's any fun. Well, I did say I wanted to visit World once this whole COVID-19 bull is over. So, I guess I'll find out. Unless it's for younger kids, in which case I won't, but... Now this one doesn't actually have you get in a ride, it does it all in first person. Press the use button, and you get to ride the roller coaster in first person, like I said. Hi, Maximus. Jesus! All I said was hi! Whee! That's the thing about these ride levels. You gotta get into it. I only wish there was a Kronk figurine so I could make a Yzma, put your hands in the air joke. Now what the heck, I made it anyway, didn't I? And then we do the... we do the I see the light scene, and... that's the end of this one. Just gotta wait for the minecart to come back into its station. And then the game spawns us at the exit. Short, simple. And yeah, this game's kind of a step back in terms of... well, I wouldn't say a step back in terms of entertainment, it's just different. But I should probably switch to a different world pretty soon. Like, do you guys think I should do the last two rides in this place, or should I just switch to something a little more involved? They are Mickey's Magical Maelstrom, a tilt-a-whirl style ride. And over here is Princess and the Frog Bayou Adventure. Which is actually potentially about to become a reality depending on how the reskin of Splash Mountain turns out. Okay, then let's go do a barrel roll. As you can probably guess from the brooms running around, this is based on the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yike! I'm wiggling around my right stick trying to get the teacup to spin again. All it's doing is making the camera go screwy. And you can't even spin. Normally you have to do complete flips. Oh hey, I got a feat for that. Yeah, so would I. He's trying to go back to his routine, but he can't. I was wondering how he'd react to that. Well, we've done 4 out of 5. Might as well do the Princess and the Frog one before we go to our next level. since we're doing a Princess and the Frog ride here, I do wonder how that... Like, I'm kind of glad that the Splash Mountain retool is happening, I just wonder what it'll be like. Will it finally be enough to get me on that ride? I don't know. Probably not. But you never know. It's all cricket chirpy like the beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean. In fact, if it wasn't for the music, I would mistake this for the beginning of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's hop in. Oh hey, they have Rex to play Lewis, because Lewis didn't have a model. And I think that's one of the guys from the Lone Ranger sets to play Dr. Facilier, because again, he didn't have an actual model. Ironic that this ride uses the Splash Mountain music, though. And they had the fairy godmother to play Mama Odie. Spooky. Boom, 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 boom. So who wants to bet that'll be the setup for the final drop in the new Splash Mountain? And I can't quite tell who those two were to play Tiana and Naveen. Like, the build-up to the Shadow Man being defeated. I'm betting that'll be the build-up to the final drop in the new Splash Mountain. Hold on, let me backtrack a bit. Come on, game, spawn them in again. Alright, I guess you're not gonna spawn them. Which means we get to this level's unique... Which means we get to this ride's unique bit, They actually included like a gift shop / restaurant section afterwards. Now ain't this nice? That's the best I can do on getting Captain Solo here to dance, but... Well, Splash Mountain is right next to New Orleans Square in Disneyland, so... There's one not too far, just gotta go past the mansion, across... Just gotta go past the Haunted Mansion, across the, like, past the station, and there's one right there. But in Disney World, yeah, they might want to add one. Now let's see, something a little more involved. Ooh, I know. Let's go take on Maleficent. In a tribute. Building. Yeah, I know, it looks like it's not building anything, but it is. This is a big level. It's gonna take a little bit. Here we go. Spawn in.
Greetings. There is much I can teach you, and perhaps I will learn from you as well. We return to our journey together so soon. Excellent.
Black Panther. I figured our big adventure here should be represented by... Man represented by the late Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace. I hope I said his last name right. Yeah, I'm already wearing it. But he also doesn't need it. Don't need no stinking sidekicks neither. Let's go.
Do treat power with respect and honor.
I don't know who voice acts for Black Panther in this game, but they do a good job. For some reason, the Rhino Guards from Robin Hood really fit as makeshift Maleficent goons.
Away from me!
Come on. I need to remember to watch this movie again later. Like, later tonight or something. Now, admittedly, I don't know much of Bachman's filmography other than Black Panther, so if you've seen him in anything else, what's your favorite role of his other than T'Challa? Oh yeah. I did remember hearing that he played Jackie Robinson, and I might have seen that film. I know I've seen at least one that involved Jackie Robinson when I was in elementary school, but it's been years since I saw it. Yeah, baseball's not really my thing, but I have always admired Robinson for the steps he took. The thing about big enemy mobs in this game is that sometimes they can overwhelm you. But the thing is, they're also... The thing is, like most Disney mooks, big enemy mobs are also usually rock stupid. Usually not all attacking at once. And when they do... Well... Like, they don't start constantly attacking until there's a lot less of them. Silence! Vibranium cuts right through a lot of stuff. Oh hey, look, it's the Green Goblin. Ow. Ow. There were a few enemy characters who got turned into full-fledged bosses that you can place in levels, like the Goblin or Darth Vader. I've only ever seen the Goblin or Vader, so I don't know.
Who could be so foolish?
Oops.
Temporary setting.
Are you calling me a fool? Or... Okay, she was calling the Goblin a fool. I don't know if T'Challa's ever matched wits with the Goblin before, but I'd honestly kind of love to see it.
Stand down, fool.
There is a key somewhere, but we need to kill all these rhinos first. And now how to get into that cage and free the horse. Easy. Break through the blocks and there it is. Just gotta actually smash enough blocks to get it out. Open sesame. Don't attack the horse. Need some way to open that. It has something to do with that rune. Nope, just bringing the key over to it does not work. Let's see. Or just take the outside. You know, I really wish I had the Maleficent figurine to play the next part of the level with. I don't know if he's ever laughed like that before. Alright. Well, let's load up part 2. However, T'Challa must return to Wakanda for a time. As such, we must have someone take his place. Well, I would put Sabine in there, but I can't find her figurine anywhere. Same problem I'm having with Rey. I can't find her figurine, but I really want to play as her. Oh well, maybe this next one will be a good choice. Come on, game. Our next player choice is...
You return very quickly. You show a great deal of impatience.
Kylo Ren? Don't... What are you doing here? Get away! Get out of here! Much better. Might need a sidekick for this one. Very tempting, but I think... He is the terror that flaps in the night. He is the winged scourge that pecks at your nightmares. He is Darkwing Duck!
You're gonna lose. Didn't have to go this way.
I'm just glad I managed to pull off that Kylo Ren joke. But yeah, our next character for this level is the first one I actually played as. This is Ahsoka. I would have picked, say, Elsa or someone like that, but... Unfortunately, Elsa, Anna, and Rapunzel are all 1.0 characters and thus are very, very bad at fighting. Also, these big enemies are super annoying. Now let's get out of here. Not quite the voice I'd use. Nice recreation. That fire is insta-kill. Don't touch it. Then again, why am I giving you advice? You probably can't play this level. Ooh, close one. Oops.
Not bad for a Padawan.
When you see the pillar rise up, climb on top, tap square to cast magic at Maleficent, and that counts as a hit. Do that 3 times total, and you've won the battle. God, Darkwing, leave some for me. He just keeps zapping them into oblivion right when they spawn.
I've got something for you. And that's what I do with bad guys. That was easy.
Getting knocked over the thorns is also an instant kill, but thankfully, with Ahsoka, I can force push them there. Oops, I got hit by a fire blast.
My turn now. I'm no youngling. Like my lightsabers?
I do, but I don't think they do.
Ahsoka is back for more.
That guy just wandered right into the thorns and killed himself. Ow.
I'm here. Did you miss me?
Huh, where'd Darkwing go?
You can't stop a death
Fire!
Jedi. I hope the council hears about this.
Ooh, nice recreation there.
Not bad.
All right. Time for the big one. Let's see. Let's go with an empty, actually, terrain. Yeah, the Hall of Heroes that the loading screen is mentioning is basically just a record of all the characters that you've registered with your game. Spawning back in, T'Challa. And Darkwing, why don't you take a break? We are here in an empty toy box world because it's time to build. Folks, I want your help in helping me design a sort of... Well, I don't know if the area around Wakanda is really built like this, so maybe I could reload. But I want you guys to help me build like a Wakandan jungle or something. Maybe leading out into the outskirts of the city. Think we could pull that off? No problem. Not perfect, but let's see here. Sidekick manager. Now that's gameplay, platforming, buildings. Here we go. Let's see, Monsters University, Radiator Springs. Is this all the buildings I've got? Oh, set pieces, right. I wish. But we're not building Danville here. Let's see. We're not building Gravity Falls either. Let's see, Death Star. No. Decorations. Plants, here we are. Let's go into the toy store and see what we can find. Well, we don't need these. Well, I think this might go on the outskirts, because we're gonna assume, like, the hiding shield isn't there. This tree might fit in somewhere. None of these building sets really would work. The treehouse and Ewok village sets should help us. Maybe some of the treehouse platforms make it a bit of a platforming area. Wish I knew how to unlock these Tomorrowland things. They'd be really useful in creating the outskirts of the city. So, let's see. Maybe some of the Fantasyland buildings would work. Farm building path's gonna want that. Unlock this toy in plotting for plants. Might have to go and build that. I do like how they put a huge amount of Gravity Falls stuff in here, but, you know, I haven't unlocked it all yet. Alright, I think we've got the sets we need. So, trees, let's see. Let's see. Problem with curved terrain is you can't place a ton of stuff on it. I assume we're going to put the city near the bottom of the mountains, so... you know, to make it easier to flatten out into what we need to build the actual city, so... block off as much of that as I can. Doesn't really seem all jungly, but... let's see. I think this darker shade of green fits the area better. So let's see, I'd say about... let's see. I'm thinking right here would be about where the city would begin, but now that I think about it, you can't really place paths on these kind of walkways and... maybe start over. New... just an empty box. Where we'll be able to place the terrain to our heart's content.
Greetings. There is much I can teach you, and perhaps I will learn from you as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But for that, we need the magic wand. Let's see. Come on, gotta find the terrain creator. Game, I wanted to put that... You know what? Doesn't matter, because... this gives me the opportunity to start making more. Let's see. Well, let's expand outward this way. This is the hard part about building from scratch. You're not sure what goes where. bright side, the medium waterfall bit does... Ugh. Let's see. Climb up top. Alright. We can start making more mountain from up here. Let's see. Slopes, 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 slopes. Okay, that's... There isn't like an instant mountain creators. Good, good. Mountain middle path. Can you tell I'm bad at this? Okay, I've got a mountain top. Create a little tunnel through the mountain. And you know what? That actually looks like a good top. So... yeah, that looks nice. Good point, I've been on a couple. So, I should probably have known that already. And actually, while I'm at it, let's go into T'Challa's skill tree. Okay. Okay, so now we have the mountain, plus a way to begin climbing it. Like this. Or by taking the cliff. I think we should be good. Just let's see. Might want to change this block. Let's see. Because if there's a waterfall there, then naturally you'd think it would fall into, well, another waterfall. Try going the other way this time. Perfect. Or, I guess it would be perfect. Good. Put a lake nearby, because they're gonna... Because, well, they would need one, wouldn't they? Well, I guess they wouldn't have to have one, but... It might be nice. Well, it is nice to put it there. Call that massive? But now we need to connect the rest of the mountain back. No, that went in the wrong place. There we go. Ooh. Okay. Things are coming along nice. We got a mountain on one side. Now, let's start with other stuff. Well, I admit it's a very spotty forest exit, but it's something for now, till I can get better at this. Oh, here's a good bit to more show that this is the exit of the jungle. Now, how many huts should we have? There aren't multiple hut toys that are meant to be placed on the ground, so they're all going to have to look pretty much the same. And obviously I can make more terrain if we need. And we're gonna need. Yeah, most of the people live inside the city, so... Okay. We're getting started. Let's see, where was that farming path? Actually, now that I think about it, I haven't unlocked the farm plots yet, so let's save. Let's save that. And now, let's return to the Toy Box Hub really quick, so we can unlock the farm plots. And to do that, let's see here. One animal-themed hero to another. Agent P!
To find a point of interest, follow the highlighted path.
Now we need to complete this mission in order to unlock the farm plots. We need to continue our buildings, so let's do just that.
If you need extra space to plant food, then you can always buy more plots. Stand in the center of an empty farm plot to buy it. Farm hats can improve your sidekick's farming ability. For example, if you give your sidekick a tomato farm hat, that'll increase the likelihood of tomatoes growing on your farm plot. Use the pause menu or visit the outfitter to give your sidekick a farm hat.
Basically, this is a part of... Let's see... Come on, where's the farm hat?
Why don't you give the farm tool to your sidekick? You can do this in the pause menu, or by using the outfitter. Use the gear submenu to head to the highlighted area. If you want to plant food, tell your sidekick.
Planting food in game is actually used in order to make your sidekicks more powerful.
Farm hats can improve your sidekick's farming ability. For example, if you give your sidekick a tomato farm hat, that'll increase the likelihood of tomatoes growing on your farm plot. Use the pause menu or visit the outfitter to give your sidekick a farm hat.
I don't think there is a farm hat here. There, that's enough to equip that sunflower hat.
Head to the highlighted area. If you want to plant food, tell your sidekick to work on the... Look, your sidekick is planting. Plants need time to grow. Return later to see what your sidekick has grown.
There. Okay, so does that unlock the thing, or...? Let's search a little further. Well, may as well check the toy store to see if it's been unlocked. Nope. Maybe I need to purchase all the plots first. Not sure. Let me look something up. Oh. Looks like I won't be unlocking those in this stream. It requires you to, let's see, get all 5 of the farming hats. And that's going to take a bit of time. Well, I guess we can always come back to building that later. So, I guess we've been going for about 2.5 hours. Yeah, I think this might be the point where we call it off. But we should definitely try and do this again once I've seen a few tutorials and maybe unlock the rest of the stuff. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Alrighty, folks. Well, I suppose it's time to sign off. Hold on. Agent B? We have reports that Doofenshmirtz is up to no good again. Go lay the smack down. Well, you heard him. Can't record official Oka business. So long, folks.